Kickstarter campaign asking for just $900,000 and promising this. Aging, dying, and souls. An epic 10-year storyline invites you to experience your character over multiple lifetimes. With each life, you will develop your character and make your mark in the Chronicles.
Bro, that sounds morbid as fuck.
When your character eventually dies, their soul will be reincarnated stronger than before.
I don't want to do that.
And their spirit and destiny will live on in another character of your making.
What the
game
fuck?
Being described was on a scale never before seen. It was going to have every system and feature that you've ever wanted all rolled into one.
Yeah, I mean, that's just like the best idea, right? Because like, why have only some good systems? Let's just have every good system, and that way we'll just make everybody happy and it'll be perfect.
Massive MMORPG, or at least that's what they told us.
Of course.
And apparently it worked. Just 1 month later, on June 3rd, 2016, they hit their Kickstarter goal, with 4 people going as far as donating $10,000 each so that they would be considered royalty in the game.
Oh god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Who would do that? Oh man. Like, it's like we can call these people dumb, right? But like, there's plenty of people that spend this kind of money on gacha games too, so it's like really not that big of a surprise. Like, I think that's kind of just like normal. Established titles, yeah, but that wasn't as much money, to be fair.
At this point in 2016, Soulbound Studios claimed they would have the game in players' hands in just over 18 months. Not
in 18 months? Wasn't this like 4 years ago?
Finished, but at least in a playable state. After raising $1 million on Kickstarter, Jeremy announced the game would continue to raise money on its own personal website.
That makes
sense.
And
raise money it did, to the tune of over $8 million. As the deadline for the game...
Bro, I need to make an MMO. I need to do this. This is such a good idea. Like, that's such a good idea. And then you just take everybody's money, and then you disappear. And you don't make the game. That's like the... Or maybe you could make the game, but it's really bad, and you actually spend like $1 million making the game, and you pocket the other $7 million.
Game approached in 2017, Jeremy announced that the game isn't going to meet the deadline he had promised due to their inability to attract talented developers.
Yeah.
The first sign that things really weren't going well. Fast forward to 2018, when everyone was originally expecting the game to be in a playable. Fast forward to 2018, when everyone was originally expecting.
One more.
Fast forward to 2018. When everyone was originally expecting the game to be in a playable state, and it was not. In fact, no one had any proof that there was a playable game at all. No member of the public had played a single minute of it. Later in that year, November 2018, with over $6 million in funding secured, people were beginning to worry about the future of the game. They noticed it had been nearly 2 years since they saw it.
Wow, look at that. Is this RuneScape 3? I never even saw the game. I've only watched OSRS. So I've never seen... So this is RuneScape 3. Holy fuck. Wow, it does look a little bit better, huh?
Any new footage of the game. Surely, with millions of dollars and years of work put into the game, there must be something impressive to show. Almost
well, they have the belt. Look, they literally have the guys. What the hell happened to the back of his head? What the hell is this?
Another year passes by, and on September 6, 2019, the first gameplay footage since 2017 is released. Remember when I seen the first gameplay? Footage since 2017 is released. Remember when I told you to remember what the original gameplay footage would look like? This is what backers thought they were getting. No, it's what they were told they were getting. And this is what they got.
Oh my god. Saw the game of $1 million.
Starter goal.
They have one's hand size, foot size.
It's not what was delivered. Then, ironically, on April 1st, 2016, the first gameplay footage is shown in a video titled "Meet the Team." Again, remember what this footage looks like.
Yeah, this is this footage is from Elder Scrolls 3, I think. It was Morrowind.
On May 3rd, 2016, Soulbound Studios
ago.
announces its long-awaited Kickstarter campaign, asking for just $900,000 and promising this. Aging, Dying, and Souls, an epic 10-year storyline invites you to experience your character over multiple lifetimes. With each life, you will develop your character and make your mark in the Chronicles.
Bro, that sounds morbid as fuck.
When your character eventually dies, their soul will be reincarnated stronger than before.
I don't want to do that.
And their spirit and destiny will live on in another character of your making.
What
the game
fuck?
Being described was on a scale never before seen. It was going to have every system and feature that you've ever wanted all rolled into one.
Yeah, I mean, that's just like the best idea, right? Because like, why have only some good systems? Let's just have every good system, and that way we'll just make everybody happy and it'll be perfect.
Massive MMORPG, or at least that's what they told us.
Of course.
And apparently it worked. Just 1 month later, on June 3rd, 2016, they hit their Kickstarter goal, with 4 people going as far as donating $10,000 each so that they would be considered royalty in the game.
Oh god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Who would do that? Oh man, like it's like we can call these people dumb, right? But like there's plenty of people that spend this kind of money on gacha games too, so it's like really not that big of a surprise. Like I think that's kind of just like normal. Established titles, yeah, but that wasn't as much money, to be fair.
At this point in 2016, Soulbound Studios claimed they would have the game in players' hands in just over 18 months. Not
in 18 months? Wasn't this like 4 years ago?
Finished, but at least in a playable state. After raising $1 million on Kickstarter, Jeremy announced the game would continue to raise money on its own personal website.
That makes
and
sense.
Raise money it did, to the tune of over $8 million. As the deadline for the game...
Bro, I need to make an MMO. I need to do this. This is such a good idea. Like, that's such a good idea. And then you just take everybody's money, and then you disappear. And you don't make the game. That's like the, or maybe you could make the game, but it's really bad, and you actually only spend like $1 million making the game, and you pocket the other $7 million.
Game approached in 2017. Jeremy announced that the game isn't going to meet the deadline he had promised due to their inability to attract talented developers.
Yeah.
The first sign that things really weren't going well. Fast forward to 2018. When everyone was originally expecting the game to be in a playable, fast forward to 2018, when everyone was originally expecting...
One more.
Fast forward to 2018, when everyone was originally expecting the game to be in a playable state, and it was not. In fact, no one had any proof that there was a playable game at all. No member of the public had played a single minute of it. Later in that year, November 2018, with over $6 million in funding secured, people were beginning to worry about the future of the game. They noticed it had been nearly 2 years since they saw...
Wow, look at that. Is this RuneScape 3? I never even saw the game. I've only watched OSRS. So I've never seen... So this is RuneScape 3. Holy fuck. Wow, it does look a little bit better, huh?
Any new footage of the game. Surely, with millions of dollars and years of work put into the game, there must be something impressive to show. Almost enough.
Well, they have the belt. Look, they literally have the guy's... What the hell happened to the back of his head? What the hell is this?
Another year passes by, and on September 6, 2019, the first gameplay footage since 2017 is released.
Wait, one second.
The first gameplay. Footage since 2017 is released. Remember when I told you to remember what the original gameplay footage would look like? This is what backers thought they were getting. No, it's what they were told they were getting. And this is what they got.
Oh my god.
To say that fans were disappointed would be an understatement of a lifetime. The game was now 2 years past its initial planned delivery date and 8 times over budget, and this was all they had to show for it. This was the result of 4 years of development.
Dude, imagine watching the Unreal 5 tech demo and then thinking, bro, I donated $10,000. I can't wait to have my own castle and have it look like this. And the game comes out. And then it's this.
And millions of dollars of backer money.
I'm a founder,
it's
guys.
Here where most of the backers soured on the game, some going as far as to threaten legal action against Soulbound. On March 11th, 2020, the Settlers of Illyria event would...
They should have a cosmetic for the founders, and it's one of those hats with a propeller on it. It says royalty on it.
Take place as a pre-free alpha event to allow participation in a 45-day test of the game.
Clown mask,
Of course, this pre-free alpha test included massive microtransactions to allow players to spend hundreds or even pre-free alpha tests included massive microtransactions to allow players to spend hundreds or even thousands of dollars buying plots of land within this unfinished game.
There you go. Buying land in an unfinished game. You know, people used to do this. They would sell land in Florida, and they had to make a law against selling land on the moon because they kept doing this in real life, too. Like, most online scams were real-life scams until somebody made a law against it.
They wanted. Amazing. It was a disaster. Players were not happy, and now, with a much more realistic idea of what this game was going to be, the funding for the game stopped coming in. In an event that was only surprising to the backers with their heads 6 feet under the sand, on March 25th, 2020, Soulbound announced the studio would be shuttering. On April...
But to our great sadness, with the failure of Settlers of Illyria and 5 long months of only limited crowdfunding revenue coming in, Soulbound Studios has officially run out of money. Last night, I was forced to do something that I never thought I would have to do. I closed the online store, put Settlers of Illyria map back into read-only mode, and laid off all the employees. And after that, I booked my trip over to Cancun with my $8 million, and I'm on to the next stage of my life.
6, 2020, however, there was an about face due to the threat of legal consequences. An FAQ appeared on the COE website stating that the game would very much be released and that they did not mean to imply it was shutting down.
Oh yeah, you gotta get swifty, you gotta get swifty in here.
Without refunding.
Kevin donated $38. This is a test donation for $38.
Make a game. Now, is the game going to be any good? No, but it will be a game. It could be Tetris or Minesweeper, but it is a game.
With angry backers undeterred by this promise, on August 17th,
this is a subscription test.
Was filed demanding that Soulbound refund the money for the game they failed to deliver.
Absolutely.
Soulbound would decline the demands to refund the backers, so on...
No refunds. No refunds, gentlemen.
February 3rd, 2021, the case was legally filed with the court. Around the same time, Illyria was posting a couple of videos a month about the progress of the game, probably to appear as though they were still working on it. So where's the game now, 2 years after all of that? And how did the lawsuit end? Was justice served? Was the people's money returned? Was anyone held accountable for the complete mismanagement of the funds?
No.
Well, I wish I could say that the court laid the law down on this man in this practice of taking people's money without the realistic possibility of being able to deliver what was promised. I wish the court case had sent a signal to would-be Kickstarter scammers, but unfortunately the lawsuit was dismissed and Walsh escaped with everything except for his reputation. He's now...
Oh, he only has $8 million. Oh, bro, like,
working on a completely different game and a completely different engine known as Kingdoms of Illyria. My guess is this game has as much of a chance of turning into a product as Kingdoms of Illyria. Is now working on a completely different game and a completely different engine known as Kingdoms of Illyria.
Somebody have to do before they just decide to light their own game on fire, or light their own money on fire.
My guess is this game has as much of a chance of turning into a polished finished product as Chronicles of the Universe. Whatever you do, don't give Jeremy Walsh another time of your money for a game that doesn't complete, because it's probable he's selling you foolish to know that. I'm not saying don't buy his game when it's finished. I'm just saying don't buy it.
Well, I would assume that whenever it's finished, it's not really finished.
character, you're free to change your profession. Not only that,
Looks better combat than Wulong.
Så jävla
you can also turn into a demon. A demonized player has a completely different appearance along with more powerful abilities. In the process of completing tasks, you will encounter a
Så är det då. Har vi på den jävla skiten att fungera? Ja. Det är högt kanske. Första gången jag använde den jävla lampan där på den jävla... Det är någonting vajsing med den jävla... Ay. So. Oh, vabbè. Ma non ho preso il hotel, non si può sprecare, fucking pezzi, via. Però te quello. Salute.
Variety of NPCs and constant.
Bello. Lord. Autosave. Okay. Microfoon. Oh. Oh. And the flipping. Oh. Oh yeah, loud. Behöver ta sig upp där över jävla russekanten just istället för på en bit stuga. Nu, vänta. Rötköttet. Ja, vart har du startknappen? Ja. Kom igen, Marcus Jensen. Men där var nära, så var det helvete. Ja, det är första gången i jävla rally då, så får jag inte fucking grejer. Fick jag en jävla legit anläggning. No! Kom nu, vad gör du? Det gick så bra där, oh my god! bara ta slut. Det var Panic Cell så det var förlorad fart i backen. Så det som var piss. Här går jag absolut inte. Det kommer bra. Jag gav ju långt ut, måste jag nog dra upp lite på väg. Andra valgjäveln, så där kommer bra att vinka ner. Där har vi det. Nej! Fuck, jag skulle ha... Nej. Försökte jag slöa men vänta. Vad skriva klart? Och så Those är då. Tillbaka till grind då. Fuck. Forsa, kom igen. Nej! Kör du vet jag. Nej. Jag tycker jag inte var. Hur man har rätt namn. Nej, der er ikke alt fokus på YouTube der. Og så er det snart snappe. Fokus. Ska man hälla upp på kanten på dem. Så mycket på. Inte bra någonstans. Lasten är taktik. Där hade du varit då. Motherfucker. Ja, ja. Nej, springa och hämta tvätten snabbt. Så jag kommer slå på den tiden.
Veckans rea-prognos visar galet låga priser på elektronik hos Power. Skaffa en Bosch serie 6-dammsugare bara 1599 eller en Samsung 65-tum-TV bara 8990. Kolla in power.se.
Albion Online is a sandbox MMORPG in which you write your own story instead of
Anarchy in Europe. Is anarchy in parts of Spain, France, and the UK now? What the
It is anarchy in parts of Spain, France, and the UK right now as migrant gangs from Northern Africa and the Middle East violently try to take over and intimidate innocent people.
Why are there violent migrant gangs from the Middle East and North Africa and Europe? This seems like an unforced error. Really, it seems like it shouldn't happen.
Spain is currently in crisis, with ongoing clashes between migrant gangs and Spaniards following the violent bashing of an elderly man in Torre Pachato.
Remember what I said yesterday about as soon as one country is able to crash out and successfully make a change because of the crash out, then you're going to have all the other ones doing it. And now you're starting to see this happen in France and also in the UK.
And again in Spain, a man with...
Has you guys been destabilizing the Middle East for the past 70 years? Then why aren't they in Saudi Arabia doing this? Why aren't they doing this over in Dubai? Dubai and Saudi Arabia are in the Middle East. Why don't you think about that? Right, come back. Yeah, think about that. So what? Yeah, who cares? Like, they know better? Yeah, they do.
The baby was callously threatened by a knife-wielding gang for simply walking down the street.
Oh, he's got the knife behind his back. You're trying to square up on a single dad with a baby? What is this? Oh my God.
And in the tourist mecca of Barcelona, the cobblestone laneways are no longer filled with people enjoying their vacations, but with hundreds of Muslim men chanting. This commentator sent a stark warning, saying, if you wanted to visit Barcelona, Spain, now it's looking like Islamabad, Pakistan. France is also in...
How the fuck does that happen? Yeah, how the fuck does that happen anywhere? What I think is so funny about this is the fact that a lot of the other countries in the Middle East don't take any of these people. Like, I never hear about UAE, Qatar, or Saudi Arabia. Or there's one more of them. I'm not thinking of the name. They never fucking. I never hear about this problem there ever. Yeah, like it's crazy. Like they reject them. Really?
A migration mess with violence running rampant in the streets, like at the Fête de la Musique last month, where hundreds of young people were stabbed with syringes and property set alight.
What the fuck?
Online commentators were in shock with the footage, with this person saying, this is France? This looks like Ghana, not France. And two women were left injured and terrified after their car was surrounded and destroyed by rioters following the PSG Champions League victory.
Hey, nothing says a soccer celebration like burning down a car. Ah, good.
In the UK, this
absolutely insane. Do you know what the best part about this is? This is the opening plot for V for Vendetta. That's what's so funny to me about this.
Situation is even more dire, with daily occurrences of violent bashings and stabbings by migrant groups on innocent local victims.
What's wrong with it? Well, here's the reason why it happens. The reason why it happens is because they get away with it. It's simple. They get away with it. There's enough of them in the area, and they think that nothing is going to happen to them. And that's the reason why. They don't do this in, like, and this isn't, you've got to understand that, like, this is not simply a religious issue, because Muslim majority countries like Saudi, you think Saudi Arabia puts up with this shit? Fuck no, they don't put up with this. What do you think happens? You go around, you do this over in Dubai. You're dead. That's what happens. You're dead. And they kill you. And so the problem is that the people do this because they know they can get away with it. That's the reason why. Saudi Arabia is a dictatorship, man. They still not getting away with it over there. I mean, but they're not. Yeah, you call it whatever you want to call it, but like they're still not getting away with it. And
knife crime is at an all-time high, with people being randomly targeted on the streets.
Let's go. Let's go.
he's got his left hand.
Let's go. Let's go.
Women's advocacy group Women's Safety Initiative is speaking up about the issue to raise awareness about the dire state of play in the UK at the moment.
Don't they like not report, like I've heard that they don't report the amount of like sexual violence that happens and like the increases? I don't know really if that's true, but I hear it a lot. Is this the country that banned ninja swords? Yes, that would be the country that bans ninja swords. That would be correct. Yes.
The silent impact of mass migration on women's daily lives in the UK is a stark reminder of the point that we have got to in this country. A country that has chosen multiculturalism over assimilation, ultimately leading to what we have
It's
now.
not multiculturalism, it's anti-culturalism. I mean, if you have people that are going in and they're coming into the country and raping people and stabbing them, that's not multicultural. Like like multicultural is like whenever you know, I go downtown to Austin and I can go to like a Italian restaurant or a Mexican restaurant or a barbecue place. Like that's multiculturalism. This isn't a culture. This is behavior. No, it is multicultural. They don't. Well, what I'm saying is like they don't do this in their own countries. They do this here because they can get away with it. Well, you're wrong. No. I think that a lot of you guys don't understand. They do. I mean, well, yeah. I mean, and in some of the places they do, and that whole area is so bad that they leave.
Parallel communities with limited cross-cultural understanding. Let's take a look at Borsley Green, one of the most dangerous areas you could possibly live in Birmingham, with 181 crimes per 1,000 residents.
181 crimes per 1,000 residents. So that means 18% of people are causing trouble? Bro, I think my 2% number might have been too low. I don't know, man. This is bad. But actually, to be fair, you have 181 crimes. I bet they're committed by probably what, fucking 20 people? There's probably 20 people doing everything.
And a large portion of these crimes being of sexual and violent offences.
Yep.
Now let me make it clear, the demographic of this ward is significant. Less than 10% of this ward account for white British people. Violence and sexual offences constitute the largest crime category.
I think this is a big problem that they have, is that they view any sort of crackdown on this type of behavior because these people come from different cultures. And I think that there is like more of a allowance of bad behavior because they assume that cracking down on it would disproportionately affect people of a certain ethnicity, therefore it's racist. And I think that's the reason why they can't solve this problem. It's because they're afraid of effectively looking bad or being called racist. And so because if you can't identify what a problem is and you can't look at it and approach it in an objective way, you can never solve the problem. It's kind of like how Twitch can never solve the problem with hot tub girls because they can never acknowledge the fact is that it's a bunch of girls that are trying to sell OnlyFans on Twitch. Because by doing so, you would acknowledge that this is a one gender problem, and in doing so, that would be sexist. So all they can do is create half measures, or it's kind of like, I'm trying to think of a good way to explain this, but like they can never deal with the problem directly. They have to deal with it through like multiple levels of abstraction, so they can create plausible deniability from disingenuous people that want to accuse them of bad behavior. And that's what's happening here. It's not sexist if it's one gender committing the problem. Well, the problem though is that people aren't willing to accept that idea. And people are still captured by the idea of if a certain policy or a certain action disproportionately affects a group of people, then that policy or action, if it disproportionately affects a group of people who are deemed marginalized, is fundamentally racist. And it's an optics argument, right? It's something that looks bad. And I think that's really it. They don't get punished, so they do this. Well, exactly, right? They don't get punished. Why don't you cut your nails? I do. What do you mean? My nails are cut. What are you talking about? Idiot. Idiot.
Green, making up 50.3% of all crimes reported. They are averaging at about 150 to 160 violent sexual offences committed every month.
That's a lot.
And commentator,
it's like, what, fucking like 4 or 5 a day?
Matt Goodwin agreed.
So a 24-year-old man has been brutally murdered on the streets of London, outside a luxury hotel, by another man who was allegedly trying to steal his watch. This is merely the latest horrific symbol of how out of control and horrific London has become.
Jesus.
Just look at the stats. Shoplifting is up 54%. Theft from...
How are people not just putting more money into the police to arrest the people that are shoplifting? Because this is what's so crazy about it, is that it's pretty easy to solve this problem, right? You just get the police and you arrest the people and that's it, right? Put them in jail, you're done. And I don't know what to say. Yeah, ask our leaders that, Zach. We defunded the police. Listen, and by the way, I know that I'm throwing stones in a glass house because, like, I've said the same stuff about us doing this here in the U.S. Like, I realize that you guys, like, we have the same problem that you guys have, but it seems like it's even worse in Europe and parts of Europe. Obviously, Europe is made up of many, many countries. But like in places like the UK, France, and Spain, this seems like a huge issue. This heads up, Sky will be over-exaggerating. I'm not saying it's not true. I think that it's probably really bad. And I think anybody could have expected this to happen. This video is very misleading. Well, just real quick, like, what do you think is misleading about this video? I'm in the UK and there's literally nothing happening. The clips they show are 1 to 2 years old. So about the UK, I'm not really sure. And so like some of these clips, there's nothing happening. Like, okay, so there's nothing happening to you. And that's, I don't know. I mean, he's lying. Yeah. I mean, I don't know where this guy lives. I mean, it's impossible for me to say. I mean, the things happening in Spain are happening, like they happened like 2 days ago. I mean, it sure seems like this is a problem though, right? I mean, like if you see like all this mass migration in the country, like, do you see this as a problem? Like, does this seem like an issue to you, or do you think it's good? Or maybe not good, but like a neutral effect? Yeah, he's bullshitting you? Well, I don't know if he is or not. I mean, there's no way to know at all. It's because he's ignorant of happening and discarding as a result of something else. We have some refugee problem, but there are not riots at the moment. Well, no, okay, that's fine. Yeah, I didn't say there were riots. There's riots in Spain, but not in the UK right now, as far as I know.
The person is up 41%. 70,000 phones were stolen from people in this city last year alone. There's a rape every hour. Sexual offences are through the roof, and it's not just the crime that bothers me. London has also become a symbol for liberal progressives of how they'd like to see the rest of the country. Oh. But do you really want the rest of the country to look like London? Hundreds of thousands of people who don't speak English, our national language, hundreds of thousands of illegal migrants, hate marches on the streets of our capital city every week, pro-Hamas, pro-Hezbollah hate marches.
And all of this...
How can they do pro-Hamas and Hezbollah hate marches if they have all those hate speech laws over there? Like, I don't understand this. You know, I'm a UK viewer at this point. All the things are 100% big issues, mostly pointing at minorities. Of course, the video is definitely over the top sensationalist, but not untrue. 2-tier system. I'm telling you guys, like, this is, I really think this is going to radicalize people, and they're going to vote for somebody who's like one of those like fucking like V for Vendetta level like authoritarians to like solve this problem. And I think that they'll do it militarily. I think that's clearly what's going to happen. I don't see how that's not the outcome.
Stark evidence and footage of countries overrun by violence and division, yet their governments and leadership do.
And by the way, a lot of people are naming names. extremism that a person is going to have in order to solve this problem, nobody is expressing that level of extremism in the current window of politics over there. I think it's going to be somebody we don't even know who they are, or it's going to be somebody who...
No. Oh, so. Oh, fail. Oh, shoot. Hello. vi om. Vi om ju det. Jävla pappnet. Alltså... Så nära, nära, men ingenting händer. Sådär. Precis. Inga priser då. Inte. Ja. Ooh. Det är ju svårare om att tro med den jävla backen. Svensson, han börjar komma in i det. Vilken musik? Jaha, du menar Trackmania. Nu då? Hallå? 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 Den här med ratten, alltså även om det är lite learning curve så ja. Jag tror fan stenhårt på den alltså. God fucking damn. Nope. Nej! Vad gör jag? Det tycker jag definitivt. Shit. Nu när man har fått till det liksom, ha ett program till Logitech. Först hittar den inte rattjäveln, men nu helt plötsligt hittar den och du kan ställa in så sensitivityn bra mycket bättre. För förut var man typ tvungen att svänga ett halvt varv med ratten innan den jävla reagerar. That's fucking damn. Right. Kim ska iväg till Plage och hjälpa hans syrra att renovera. Det lät inte helt fel, men som sagt, jävla riksfattig. Gamla flushar. Lilla flushar. Hur blir du där hela dagen eller? Vad fan. Du kommer sätta en jävla alkoholskuld på flera tusentals kronor för helvete. Jag har ont i magen. Lintare. Ja, just det förresten Niklas, så blev det den jävla tomahawken som stod fram. Jag hoppas du gjorde den eller han blir dålig. Haha. Ja, det är det. Ja, okej. Vad är det bra? Gmail ska man vara. Motorarbeten och vidare. Jag måste få tag i Felix här om så jag får tag i min jävla parfymjävla byxor. Alltså, Ronja eller Felix har ju min påse från Peter med mina byxor och min jävla dyr parfym. Oj. Ja, tack som fan. Aj, tack sådär. Okej, perfekt. Och jag måste hitta mitt jävla pass. Om du har ett högäga öppet, om du hittar någon liggandes någonstans på något ovettigt ställe hemma hos dig. Åsnamn. Är det samma det eller? Hörni! Ge mig en fucking tumme upp och sen prenumererar ni också. Jag vet inte varför man inte får upp något sånt. Jävla notiser. Försökte få upp det men fick fan. Nej. Gud förbannat. Vilka är God damn. God damn. It's amazing. It's amazing. Ja, kanske. Ja, det hade varit fucking amazing. Vanligt lägg är ju vanligt lägg. Visst får man fara överallt i EU med det. Man behöver inget pass va? Åh, vilka fina hjärtan. Jag blir så rörd. Jag kan köra. Men alltså... Man testar. Fem, tre, åtta. Vad ska prova? Ja, det. Vad är det alltså? Ja, och ja, just det. Vad fan? Ja. Drägigt var sugen på att få ut och... ja, gör du så. Puss hej, puss hej. Byta barn. Last days. Alltså, jag blir ju mentalt handikappad. Och förresten, när de ska till Holmfors då kan inte de komma och plocka upp mig, men jag håller på med tvättstuga, det borde jävla bra. Det är rätt bra hus. Jag la på mig jävla klippa åt det. Look, it's not.
bothers me. London has also become a symbol for liberal progressives of how they'd like to see the rest of the country.
Oh.
But do you really want the rest of the country to look like London? Hundreds of thousands of people who don't speak English, our national language, hundreds of thousands of illegal migrants, hate marches on the streets of our capital city every week, pro-Hamas, pro-Hezbollah hate marches.
And all of this...
How can they do pro-Hamas and Hezbollah hate marches if they have all those hate speech laws over there? Like, I don't understand this. You know I'm a UK viewer at this point. All the things are 100% big issues, mostly pointing at minorities. Of course, the video is definitely over the top, sensationalist, but not untrue. Two-tier system. I'm telling you guys, like, this is, I really think this is going to radicalize people, and they're going to vote for somebody who's, like, one of those, like, fucking, like, V for Vendetta level, like, authoritarians to, like, solve this problem, and I think that they'll do it militarily. I think that's clearly what's going to happen. I don't see how that's not the outcome.
There's some footage of countries overrun by violence and division. Yes, their governments and leadership.
And by the way, a lot of people are naming names. I think the level of extremism that a person is going to have in order to solve this problem, nobody is expressing that level of extremism in the current window of politics over there. I think it's going to be somebody we don't even know who they are, or it's going to be somebody who dramatically shifts what they're saying to an insane way. Farage is weak. Yeah, anybody like Nigel Farage or any of these people, they're going to seem like liberals compared to this person. The Swedish guy, no? Well, I don't know about that. I'm not sure who you're talking about.
Absolutely nothing. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer seems to be more concerned about protecting the illegal migrants than protecting his own people. Reform UK's Zia Yusuf slammed
he's been cosplaying as caring about it recently because he doesn't want to lose elections.
Prime Minister for his incompetence on the issue.
It's all garbage. No one's listening, which is why his approval ratings have collapsed historically.
of the country, other parts of the city, other parts of the world need to cash. So they're saying that, oh, all of this stuff is normal and it's totally fine. Well, it is for them because they don't ever have to experience the consequences from it, and they never will experience the consequences from it because they live in multi-million-dollar homes in gated communities, and the only time they interact with minorities is through like some sort of like fucking like some servant service, right? Like some housekeeping service. And so that's their thinking of it, right? It's literally like these like upper middle class liberals that are like, well, who's gonna clean my house? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, it's again, it's like the casual racism of it is insane. But anyway, so that's another reason why it's happening. A third reason why it's happening is that, and this is a big conspiracy that I have, is that I don't see how a government could allow this to happen unless they were kind of pushing for authoritarianism. So you could make the logical argument that they are effectively pushing accelerationism towards an authoritarian government by creating the need for an authoritarian government by destabilizing the population. Now, I don't think this is necessarily what's happening, but if I was a conspiracy theorist, that's what I would believe. And so there's definitely that, and the logic tracks. Yeah, the logic tracks immediately, right? Like everything that's happening makes sense. Then there's another thing. This is with the U.S. With the UK, I'm not sure because the way they're voting and like their whole system works, I'm not familiar with. And in Europe, but in the U.S., one of the reasons why a lot of countries or states like California, for example, want to advocate for illegal immigration is because it increases the amount of votes that they have nationally, because the illegals are counted on the census. And the idea is that the more illegals that are counted on the census, the more their influence will be. And they're assuming that these illegals will vote and behave, will vote and behave in a way that is beneficial to them. So they're making like a long-term generational investment in having these people come over to the country, and then hopefully having some sort of generational obligation or loyalty to the party that allowed them to do that. Reach? No, it's not.
För fan. Boys, tack för mig. Trevligt för alla som kan hoppa in. Det var en test. Jag ska försöka fixa så man får dual streaming både på Twitch och YouTube. Men det har fått mycket gorm så ja, det blir inte. Men tack för mig. Och välkommen till Nördhörnan. Puss hej.